Yeah, I think he told me to start. Hey, there he is. Do.
Damn it, Anthony.
He had one job.
It seems so simple to.
One fucking job.
It seems so simple to have AirPods die and for it to continue after those AirPods die, but apparently that overloads something to make it fucking rug.
What? This
Your
isn't.
AirPods died and therefore it fucked up?
Yeah, I was trying to like not make it fuck up, but it still fucked up. My AirPods died and I could still see myself there, but I could not hear anybody. And I was like, what's going on? And then it died completely.
I
Did
will
this
tell
show up
you.
in the mission analysis? You know, the COA comparison?
Say that again?
Did this show up in the COA comparison?
Did what?
The rugging of the space by AirPod.
uh, I was gonna say I was looking at the art that you were doing when it all kind of came crashing down. Thanks, Anthony. Um, and I think my only thing is that so much of it just looks so one. I guess maybe it's abstract because of the settings you're picking, but also part of me looks at it and goes, "This is all just looks like a Rorschach test," and so that's
Yep.
just like,
I
and
will say though, a lot of art that people like is kind of Rorschach-y.
yeah, it looks just like a lot of like nudity, but maybe that's just saying more about me and the fact that I haven't seen my wife in months. So, uh,
No, I typed in "sexy Cleopatra" and that's what it gave me.
okay, so you're the perv, not me.
That's right. I am distributing pervosity through the network.
Uh,
That was a hard rug, guys. I mean, the Syndicate is a drug.
Yeah, I want to apologize. I don't know. I was trying to have a serious conversation, or at least I felt it like it. Like and then I was trying to like talk about the atrophying of skills, and that disappeared into the ether very quickly.
We should host an anti-skill space. Did Zach just get rugged? He just got rugged too.
Man, yeah. What would the anti-skills space be? Welcome to the anti-skill space, where we pretend to talk about talk speaking. Talk speaking is one of the examples of the anti-skill space where you go against the grain of grammar.
It's kind of like the AI generated language that you see when you get AI generated images. It's just anti communication.
Yeah, or it's like you're having a talk about anti-skill
well,
space, and you're talking about the attack surface, and then bubblegum bear Tim Hortons cups all of a sudden, you know?
so I have a question, and it's kind of a does it if a tree falls in the woods kind of question. But if you learn something but never apply it, is it actually a skill, or is it the anti of skill? Like the analysis,
It's a lecture.
like analysis of paralysis is like the enemy of opportunity. So like wouldn't just continuously trying to learn skills but never applying or using, I feel like wouldn't that be the natural enemy
Mhm.
of skill?
Yeah,
Asking,
there's techne, and there's episteme. Techne is technical knowledge, and episteme is the knowledge embodied in the doing.
Yeah, but technome still requires you to show your technical knowledge, right? If you
Right?
if you gather knowledge and sit there and never write it down, never express it, or never have a discussion or debate, then do you actually have the knowledge, right? Like if I learn everything I can about cars and choose to just sit on my ass and watch like Love Island on MTV, right? Is it really a technical skill that I have that I know everything about cars because I'm never going
so
to leverage it?
so I tend to think that skills have a half life regardless of how advanced they are, because adaptability is really what gives skill life. You need to continuously adapt it. So even if you know how to code Python, if you don't continuously pivot on that skill, it can die. So it's kind of like saying, I know how to typewrite in the 1950s on a 1950s typewriter. Well, how much does that skill serve you today? I think the anti-skill is actually not adapting the skill, not just sitting on the skill. I mean, because you could still execute on that skill, but it's like it's also its value that it has in a macroeconomic sense, and how you kind of flex that muscle. Like if
So
you
so does something
like, what are the
have
gains
to
that you get from it?
so does something have to have a proficiency half-life to be considered a skill? Otherwise it would just be a inherent trait. Like imagine like how or an instinct, right? Like there I had a sociology professor that talked about like how there's very few instincts that are human instincts, that we've gotten so far away from instincts, um, except for like fear, and we've allowed that to like extrapolate way beyond. But like fear, you don't have to practice fear to like good at the skill of being afraid. Um, Quite the opposite, right? That way, that's why it's instinctual. But any other thing you want to do, there's a half life of practice versus proficiency.
I mean, I think the question there is, I wouldn't necessarily categorize fear as a skill, or the act of being afraid as a skill, but as more of a of a way to express a specific skill. So you can approach a skill with fear, but it's not necessarily the skill itself, right?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying is like you can practice the skill of gratitude. You can practice the skill of happiness, right? You can't practice the skill of fear, which is why it's the only instinct we really have. That's what I'm saying is that everything else is practiced. You can practice almost everything else. You can't really practice fear, right? Like you can practice at being better at overcoming fear, but that's courage. So I don't know. That was just I'm really
Question.
I'm really sleepy, so I'm gonna go to bed here soon.
You're not allowed to go to bed.
I would really pay money for you to come here and try to make me stay awake because I would love to see that. I think the Syndicate could fund our next 5 ventures, by just putting that on pay-per-view.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, what we need is just to attract a fund, right? So that we can take the time between ideation and physical monetization and have it happen in real time. So somebody comes into the room and we just tap on their picture and then allocate.
What's the Syndicate's greatest weapon? So if we ever do get attacked in some way, shape, or form, is it just sarcasm? Is that our first? Is that our first wall of defense?
It's one of them. It depends. It's a judo, right? So if somebody comes at you with it's a triptych. So you have the Joker, the logician, scientist, and the artist musician. So it's a lot of judo depending on how they choose to attack and how you choose to defend. So if power, then sarcasm, for example.
I like that. Can I be honest with you though? I think Zach is our de facto um, protection. Like he knows how to train people and kill people and defend. He's de facto power.
Well, it's one of those things where you never want and see, having that ability is important, but it does not diminish the need for diplomacy.
Yeah.
I tend to think we still live in a state of nature and we're just kidding ourselves. So yeah, I fuck diplomacy. In other words,
Parabellum, you know.
I think the biggest strength of anything is the non-locality of it. Right?
In Colombia, you could pay somebody $10,000 to do a drive-by on a motorcycle, and they tell you, "Te voy a mandar el de la moto." I'm gonna send you the guy on the bike, on the motorcycle, and that's what that means. That means you're gonna die soon.
What is the countermeasure to the motorbike assassin?
You say, "Does your mom know how to sew?" And then you get a knife and you walk by them and stab them, and then you say, "Tell her to sew this one."
Does your mom know how to sew? Oh my god!
I swear to God, ¿tu mamá sabe coser? That means, does your mom know how to sew? And then you say, "Que te cose esta?" She better sew this one. And then you just walk by casually and stab somebody 7 times super fast and just keep walking like if nothing happened.
So you're saying that the Colombian AI is what we have to watch out for?
The Colombian Terminator's got, fuck.
I can imagine Terminator saying.
I think it's even worse because I wouldn't understand the Colombian Terminator. Like,
please, I don't understand Spanish. Please let go of my hand.
My mom does not know how to sew. My mom does not know how to sew. Please.
As you're bleeding out. Oh.
I just looked up how to say "I'll be back" in Spanish because I was going to yell it in the chat. Like, wouldn't that be scary? But then I realized once I Googled it, I don't know how to fucking pronounce that.
How is it spelled? We can butcher it.
Well, first it looks
Wait, hold on. I want you to try to say it before.
All right.
I think that's going to be better.
Vuelvo enseguida. Enseguida?
Vuelvo enseguida.
I thought it was Volvo enseguida.
I love it.
That's one of my favorite porn stars from Colombia, Volva and Segura. Very talented lady.
Oh God. Did we have anyone come into the room today and start just, I'm definitely going to be a part of this group?
What happened today? You know what? I don't even know what happens from day to day. The biggest thing is
I saw Amy in the group for a while.
Yes. It's one of those things where I just sent her the Google Drive with the MP3s. Right? So now I'm just sitting back to say, all right, let's see the sentiment analysis work.
Well, there's not going to be any I'm not going to say anything because this one's recorded. So, love you, Amy.
Yeah, it's they say no prototype survives first contact with the end user. So I'm realistically optimistic, let's say.
No prototype survives first contact with the end user, especially if you're in spaces all day.
I wonder if you could bet on founders that didn't use social media.
Oh, I mean, that's like, I have 2 clients that they have to send me their screen time usage on their iPhone every day. Like, that's just like, they just are so undisciplined. They're just like, all right, how do I stop just staring at my phone? I was like, every single day you're going to send me your phone, there's your screen time report at the end of the day when you send me your end of the day report. And then if it's over a certain amount, like, I'm going to give you exercises to do and they're going to suck and you are going to hate them.
I like it. Yeah, see, this is why I think that, again, if there's a startup that comes into the syndicate, at a certain point, I'm going to be like, all right, we got to send you for boot camp. be like, what's that? I'm going to be like, it's going to be much worse than anything you're ever going to face during your startup life. And that's kind of the point. By 7 a.m., you'll be like, fucking product market fit. It's nothing worse than squats. This product market fit's going to be easy. We'll knock this out by 7:30.
Yeah, because like, and that's the thing is like I can make it as bad or as good as they want it to be. Just depends on what they're looking for, you know, what they need. I think that every person's different. I think we have a lot of one size fits all solutions that don't fit anyone.
I agree. The worst moment in my startup life was when my best friend stabbed me in the back in the middle of 2020 and just called me one day and
Did he
said,
ask if your mom sews?
"Does your no?" It was actually a white guy who was a CTO of a fintech company and decided to leave and be the CTO of our company. And we had built our MVP. It was the middle of 2020. We were in a pandemic in Latin America. And he just calls me up one day and he's just like, yeah, I exited out of my other company. So I kind of don't want to work with Gray anymore. And I just fucking like, I remember that was like the most painful thing in the world. And he just really said it really dryly. And I was like, okay, well, that's it. It died. It was crazy.
It's interesting when we talk about skills because my wifey did her thesis at school on the Red Queen's race, which is a story from Lewis Carroll's Through the Looking Glass. And it says that organisms must continuously adapt, not to get better, but to merely survive.
That's when I decided to leave Medellin. Actually, it was 6 months before I decided to leave Medellin. And I went into a 6 month stupor and I was just doing drugs. And I remember I had just had like unprotected sex with a Venezuelan girl that I picked up at some random bar. And I realized like I am at the lowest point of my life. And I had to come back to the States at the end of 2020 because it was just horrible. It was
You're
a
saying
big
the
life
sex
lesson.
was that? You're saying the sex was that bad with the Venezuelan? You left South America?
Nope. I'm saying that you should never have unprotected sex and go into a drunken stupor for like 6 months and just hate yourself that much. It's very dangerous.
So what was it about the Venezuelan that was like, all right, that's it?
It was the fact that it was just for me like I am now consistently at the lowest of the low, and we were doing a lot of things. I was doing a lot of things to myself consistently that were just completely harmful. It wasn't the fact that she was Venezuelan, just the fact that I had picked up this girl and was just having a lot of unprotected sex and just going crazy, and it was just whatever. But it was just the lowest of the low, and it was definitely an indicator of I have to get my shit straight. So I came back to the States, and I just had to start breathing again in 2021. That was like my recovery year. And then I started to really start to build up again, understand myself, kind of remember myself more than understand myself, remember who I was, remember that I'm not that person. I mean, it's a recorded space, but I feel like this is more of a story of triumph anyways. I mean, it wasn't just the fact that I had had unprotected sex. It was the fact that we were fucked up on drugs that we had bought, thinking that they were one thing and they were another thing. And I was with another American friend, and he had called me saying he was going to go to the cops because we had bought horrible drugs. And it was just like a horrible experience for everyone. And I didn't expect all of that to happen. And I just remember being so low. And I called my dad like a week later and just was like, I need to get back. Like, this isn't good. I'm not in a good spot. And I got back. And then I bounced back when
So
I got here.
speaking of bouncing back, how are things going with Dan and friends?
I feel like they're going really great. The thing is I think so. There's definitely an idea for a platform that I have, which is something very simple. It's we should give more jobs to founders. So it's definitely a different skill to be a founder, especially a founder that has failed before and a founder that has a kind of chip on his shoulder. I feel like a lot of people say that that's the best person to hire, but no one really hires them. And I feel like what I'm doing I'm really all in, because I'm really, first of all, because I'm grateful for the opportunity. So I'm working a lot and I'm applying myself a lot. It's a lot of work, but I also really, really love it. It's been a really great ride so far. They're really responsive to my ideas. I wrote like a sweet business dev strat the other day. I turned it in yesterday, and I just started on Friday. So like I'm already rewriting business dev, contributing that way, putting ideas on the table. We're already coming out with a strategy to kind of get more sales in. I'm already talking to somebody in Colombia who's kind of like a high net worth individual to get us a metaverse deal, because he wants to do a metaverse for clubs and events and concerts, and he wants to kind of just sell that as a white label platform for clubs and events down in South America, which by the way is huge down there, huge industry. So at the end of the day, I think that that it's just going really well. I'm just getting a lot. I'm getting into it, and I'm getting into the groove, and it's giving me a lot of energy, and I'm using that energy as a conduit to do great things to really help the company. I really hope that I can really contribute.
I had a question, Anthony. I have a Web3 question, if I can jump in, Mike. Or is that okay?
Go for
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. No
So
permission is ever necessary.
I'm 100% sure that this probably is already being built, right? But I am very interested in the NFT use case for creating the communities around icons. So let's say that Beyonce, okay, we take let's say 50,000 uh photos that have been taken of Beyonce, right? And turn them all into NFTs. You buy her album on Apple Music, you get one of them, right? You buy a concert ticket, you buy another. Once you've built so many, you get to unlock the next level of the group, right? And after so many purchases, you are, in a small group of people, and maybe Beyonce's in the room, right? With different giveaways, it gives you different access to that individual, right? Different, but it allows you to, just based on what NFTs you've been able to collect, it gives you an idea marketing wise of how to who to target, right? Who's the most ravishing like consumers of that thing or that brand or that icon, so that when we're getting to the idea of marketing where these companies are making very very cheap commercials, right? Instead of these big extravagant commercials on TV, they're making these very cheap commercials that can be targeted down to the end user, right? Of this is a Beyonce consumer that's going to love this commercial she's in.
I mean, I see a future where we can insert, so you can watch your TV in Beyonce Vision. So if you want to just have Beyonce be the main character in all your shows, you could just replace all the characters, like the main character with Beyonce, and maybe the husband is Jay-Z or whatever.
Yeah, but I feel like I think that you have to understand who's really worth that, more than just, oh, this person has millions of followers on YouTube and Instagram, right? I think that the false followers that is one of the most corrosive things. Like I don't know if any of you saw this. There was a girl who has like 1.1 million followers on Instagram, and she paid to set up a booth to sign like and take pictures with fans at like
Yeah, yeah.
at an event, and no one showed up. But understanding who is really who is actually following people because they're willing to put like 99 cents on the line to buy the NFT, right? $10 to buy the XYZ thing, right? Because then you're really able to understand who is the marketing power, right? And this, I take it back to like fucking Andrew fucking Taint, and just understanding how those kinds of individuals can be so powerful. Is it just seeing them so much, or is it they're so powerful because what they're saying, they're able to draw a group to the words that they're using? I don't know.
Yeah, I think people who are currently spending money will spend money on similar things, right? So if you're gonna ask like if we can drill down, then I ask of all the Beyonce fans that are out there, who actually buys merchandise, right? Because the super fans, they buy the merchandise, right? They have the cologne, the fucking all that shit.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say is like you are able to understand the consumer, right, and where they are and how many there are that meet these certain criteria, um and in all domain, like think about it, like if every time I went and bought a Starbucks coffee, it went towards my next NFT level, right? And they have it, right? They have a Starbucks, like you can get a Starbucks card and it tells you how many points you've made, right? Whatever. Who the fuck cares? But imagine like loan officers understanding that someone spends, makes $30,000, but they spend 15 of it on coffee every day, right? Just because of their NFTs they've collected at said place. Understanding someone who is purchasing assets, right? Like, oh, I go and I purchase gold bars, right? And every time I purchase a gold bar, like it gives me this little NFT. Like, you're gonna know how I'm spending my money, where I'm spending it, what I'd like to see, who I'm interacting with, who I'm willing to spend my money on. Um, you know, you're getting into more of the minutia
You're
of.
you're mentioning. I mean, it sounds like. Sorry, I was talking to my CTO, who we kind of got in a little bit of a skadiffle today, but it wasn't bad. It was he was asking me about it, and we were just making amends. But from what it sounds like, Zach, it sounds like you're speaking about what could be, primitives and the use of NFTs or this NFT standard, as sort of an identity primitive where it kind of records certain interactions depending on where that primitive lies in a Web3 vertical. So like the one that you just mentioned, my payment habits and my buying habits could be seen as a decentralized finance primitive, right? Like as a DeFi, D-money primitive. What Gray is trying to build towards is a D-skill primitive, where we could see sort of the interactions that you do and commit to every day with your skills, not with your money, but with your skills. Um, and the NFT has a way of recording, the metadata, um, of behavior, of potential digital behavior and potential non-digital behavior as well, depending on how you do it, um, onto it as sort of a standard or a standard of an asset that kind of follows that behavior around and can kind of hold a ledger of that information for you for life. Um, right. And I think what you're describing is sort of the decentralized finance primitive. It's really interesting because a lot of people are trying to trying to also give people the power to kind of use this data. What you're talking about with like marketing, it sounds like, and again, I kind of came in the middle of the conversation with marketing, could be seen as, uh,
I'm
you
just
know,
gonna throw this out there. Like, imagine that someone in the field has an Apple Watch on, and I can infer by how they're using their hands and their exertion what skills they're using with their hands.
yeah, precisely. You could do this with wearables, right? And this is what I was actually telling Zach probably about 2 weeks ago. He called me really excitedly at 7 in the morning. And I thought that it was very interesting because he was thinking, how could I Web3 win the war? And I told him, you could create a protocol that sort of keeps people accountable, holds people accountable for their habits, right? According to the protocol of that when the work has today, it already has the product. So I told them, don't focus on the Web3 aspect in the sense of crypto, but more so in the sense of a protocol where you've created an accountability mechanism that kind of holds those people accountable for their habits through a set of standards and rules where that information gets captured from something like a potential wearable, right? Did they
Yeah,
wake up at 4:30? I know whether or not they did, and I can incentivize that behavior through this protocol as soon as that data gets picked up.
we've done something similar just with the US dollar with a couple of clients that, right, money was a real driver for them. So it was like, look, like when you fuck up, we're gonna send you an invoice for $5. Like, and as soon as they messed up, invoice sent. Hey, invoice is in your fucking mailbox. And they got so pissy. But after the first day of them fucking up, the second day they were like, yeah, you're right. And they turned everything around. Like, it's like 24 hours. It was like they went from just absolute turd to like fully functioning human adult ready to crush the world.
So we often think, so what the innovation here is not in the earning necessarily of tokens, but the losing. So I don't think
Yes.
enough people have explored the losing of value as a motivator.
So yeah, so we do it in both directions, is right. Like Anthony's saying, is like, as you're having habits that are good, you are earning tokens. And as soon as you slip up, you get this big like losing, and money starts draining from your account, right? Like, whatever. You have to make it really hit them in the face, otherwise it's not going to do anything. It's so yeah.
Yeah, I think if I'm really building everything I'm doing almost as a precursor to this Apple glasses world that we're going to live in. And I think once the Apple glasses are on, and you're in the room with them, right? And be like, you have to get out of bed so that you can say hi to everyone else who had the mental fortitude to get out of bed. You know, like all of those. It's going to. I think if we just keep thinking about knowing that world is going to be here, so that when it is here, we have the customer base to really, you know what I mean? Take it further.
Well, yeah, and that's and understanding the type of individuals, right? Because understanding the type of drill sergeants and adding to the diversity, right, of the people, because I think without that we can't aggregate the right amount of diverse data to get the type of interactions that'll be impactful. They're only impactful in this like at scale army basic training version is because you can't escape. You can't just like not put on the glasses, right? So you need to have some sort of um, inherent connection with whoever it is, be it virtual. You're gonna have to have an inherent connection with that guide, right? Like Luke didn't seek out, you know, Yoda and then just be like, nah, I'm gonna fly away. Like he was stuck there, so that's why it worked. You have to figure that out. Like, how do you get them stuck in it? Um, Sometimes that's why we charge. You know, we don't charge a, $20. It's, a couple. It's $200 ish usually is what we
Mm-hmm.
do for a month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like the idea of the economy that giveth and taketh away.
I'm so bad at responding to that sort of Pavlovian response. I have a strong resistance, and this is probably why I studied a lot of Marx when I was younger. I'm not a communist. I just loved Marx, and for me, there's just a lot of resistance that I have towards any kind of institutionalization of behavior, and it almost seems kind of like to me almost very BF Skinner, like you ring the bell and I have to respond to it. There'll be a moment where I'd rather fucking die, to be honest. But
Well, I think that
I'm not saying that the service is bad. By the way, I'm
no,
saying
but
I'm not the user.
what you have to do, right, is you have to force adaptation through it becoming inherent in who you are. So, like the army, right? The army itself. We don't just start going discipline, 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 wake up, raw, right? I'm going to kill you. We throw in like creeds and we like you have to create an occult, right? It's the same reason I say this all the time. It's the same reason why CrossFitters tell everyone that like they do CrossFit, and vegans tell it, you have to become part of the cult. Otherwise, a lot of those Pavlovian things you're talking about don't work. Because unless you're looking for something and you internalize it, it'll never work. Just because you say that right now, like, oh, yeah, I don't really respond to that. But if I got you for 30 days to say, this is really going to work for me and it's going to make me better, and that's the only response you could give, right, in your actual mind, you would accept it and you would build on it because you're joining the cult. So
Yeah, I think the major thing that is going to lead people to not press buy right away is that they feel like they are giving up their freedom when they hire you as a coach. How do you handle that with people who feel like they're giving up their freedom when they work with you?
the way I handle that is by telling them that if they have been making impulsive decisions, if they have been choosing to sleep in a moment's notice, that's not freedom. That's being a slave to your emotions and being a slave to your animal brain. Real freedom is saying, I am going to make a plan and then sticking to it. Jocko Willink says discipline equals freedom. Um, because otherwise you're just a slave to this part of your brain that wants safety and security, right? You're not actually free. Freedom leads to the discipline it leads to the freedom to move because you're not overweight. Discipline equals the freedom to live a long life because you ate healthy, right? Discipline equals the freedom to buy things that you want because you made good financial choices. It's not just reckless freedom that gives you all of those things.
I'm gonna take you guys to Medellin one day, and I'm gonna show you some reckless freedom.
With some Venezuelan chicks.
No, I mean I totally agree. I think there's definitely something in me that understands that discipline is a most effective mechanism towards understanding myself. I don't necessarily see it as discipline, but I see it more as responsibility. There's a great existential philosopher that I met once in Michigan. He went to the University of Michigan. He was really funny. He was buying a cafe racer for me. I had a little cafe racer back in 2010, and he was buying it from me. And he said, it's funny because a lot of people say, on one side of the United States, we have a statue that represents, freedom. What lacks is on the other side of the United States, we should have had a statue to represent responsibility, and that's sort of what's wrong with us right now. Is we don't necessarily see that. I don't like to necessarily use the word discipline more than I like to think about it as, are you responsible for yourself, and are you capable of being responsible for yourself and extending that um, towards the goals that you want? Because I totally agree with that. I'm also more of a sensitive soul, I would say. So um, I do like motivation. I'm the kind of guy that if I feel that Zach is, uh, expressing camaraderie with me, I will be completely loyal to him and I will listen to him. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's more effective with me, and I think it's
Well,
just because of my
well,
experiences, right?
yeah. Well, I think that you also like for us is the difference here for us is it's not. I don't treat like I have 5 clients right now, and every single one of them, I'm using a different combination of carrot and stick just based on like our interactions. And so we go through like a process of kind of just the first month is just figuring out what the process needs to be of interactions. It's not a, hey, I'm gonna rah you, or any of that kind of stuff. It's just really just slow interactions. Hey, like, what's your creed? Like, what is it that you want out of your life? What is the routine that's going to get you there? What are the habits that are going to get you there? What are the things we need to change? Let's pick the one that's going to move the needle the most. Like, sometimes the conversation's like this. Sometimes the conversation is, hey, motherfucker, you've had the same thing on your list for 2 days in a row. Like, what the fuck? Like, the first day is an accident. The second day is a choice. The third day is a habit. Don't make it a fucking habit, right? And knowing when it is time to kind of turn that page and say, all right, I'm gonna be an asshole, because he's gonna see that it's like, oh wow, I really need to get this fucking done. So a lot of people, they keep pushing things off, and they push it off so long that it just becomes, oh well, I pushed that off, and I never ended up getting that done, so I might as well not do this. And then they just keep slipping down the slope of all of this push offs everywhere in their life.
Can totally agree with that. It's not that I haven't been down a slippery slope. I just talked about, my last experience when I was living in Medellin in 2020. But yeah, no, I could definitely see how that's useful for sure.
Well, gentlemen, I am
That's
going
it.
to get some sleep.
This is good. We're going in a good direction. Things are happening.
Yeah, no, I definitely, Mike, I definitely think that we should also try to get you in some of these startup spaces that there are, that we've like, Anthony and I have kind of infiltrated. There's one with like 100 startups on like Mondays. Um, I usually host one on Thursdays. I haven't in a couple of weeks, just because Allison and I have just not been able to connect. But she's a really good resource. And yeah, so I think that, because I think that that's the thing, right? Is like the syndicate being here, right? We can try to drag people in, or we can take the syndicate and just viral infection somewhere else.
Yeah, we have the collection of digital mercenaries, and if you look at any of the spaces that we're in, often a lot of the other people will follow in, right? And so, we can be a roving band. Um, I'm I'm really curious to see what happens with the Mood Connect, because my hypothesis is that if we're able to find the best of Zach, the best of Zach is very valuable, as in that which has already been recorded, right? I think the best of Dan,
Aww.
right? And so the next thing, though, is that's the hypothesis, right? If nobody gives a shit about the content, then we have a different problem, right?
Yeah. This
But I want to know that.
this thing you posted right now, just copped it. That's what I was thinking about our NFT. It looks like, I haven't clicked on it, but just
Yeah,
from
I made it
the
with
small thumbnail,
I took a Bored Ape and I put it into Wombo. That's it.
it looks like a tick in my mind.
Yeah, so I was like, what if I just took an existing NFT and I just, used Wombo to add Salvador Dali to it? I'm
Oh
like,
my
well,
god. Take
yeah,
the cartoon The Tick. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
okay, let's do it.
Yes.
Okay, so let's do this in real time right now. So do. All right, so we have Wombo over here.
With the big
The
chin.
Yeah, so the Tick cartoon from the '90s, right?
Yeah.
So I have the guy right here with the huge chest. All right, here we go. download. Now we have it downloaded. So we go to the Wombo. Here, where is it? All right.
Did you
Try
just
another.
did you just buy the full version or?
No, this is all free.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I have to exit that. Same link I sent you. The tick is now added.
Can you do more of a I don't know, less whimsical style?
I can go realistic. Let's try it.
Is it like a
Creating.
DALL-E 2 prompt where you can tell it what kind of styles you want?
Well, here's the thing. Now that people know how people are using Dolly, it offers a listed set of design patterns. I forgot to change the thing. So hold on. Can you give me the text that you would like apply to the tick?
I I was in a space earlier today, and they said that understanding what kind of directions you're giving AI is really important.
Describe the scene.
I really just think that okay, wait, hold on, I got it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just do military service member, like army soldier with that guy as the base picture.
Okay. Army. I'm just going to keep it simple for it. Army soldier. And we will go with steampunk, naturally. And with the tick. Creating. See what happens. Wombo.art. WMBO.art.
Wonder where they got that name Wombo.
I don't know. I like it though. It's taking a little while on this one. Maybe he gave it a hard one. Okay. Whoa. That looks pretty cool. Doesn't look too much like a tick, but let me try something else. So let's try.
Does it look like her, or does it not look like either of them?
It's. See, I like what it did, but I'm not sure if it's exactly what you were going for. But I
Well,
like what it did.
and that's art. So
Right? Yeah, yeah. Well, you're absolutely right, I guess. Yeah. So let me tweet that out. Tweet is sent. Tweet is posting to the top. All right. Oh, shit. This one is cool.
How many variations does it give you? How many variations on a theme?
I'm not sure. Let me send you the do. Yeah, if Dan ever suggests that you use something, just follow his advice. Don't even ask. What is it called?
Anthony, did you like that little plug about, hey, we should get blogs and other resources so that if we ever wanted to consolidate them, since we have that drive now, we can put like a little like Google Doc that just says like Wombo and like all the other like AI stuff, the blogs, the posts.
I do like that. It's fucking fantastic.
Which I think our skill space is a natural like addition to the syndicate, because the syndicate's based on the aggregation of like individuals like decentralized skills in one space that can be leveraged to help in numerous ways.
Well, actually, think of it as right now, if the syndicate is powerful, it's because complementary skills are being combined towards a certain end.
What I would say though, and I've been talking to Zach about this, and he told me he was talking to you about it. It's getting to a point where it could get to a crisis point where there could be a conflict of value and virtues that could start to deteriorate the. I don't know. It seems like almost like the syndicate could get infiltrated for some reason. Why does it feel like that? That's probably not the right way to put it.
It's and that is why I don't I believe that to a certain extent we want to keep things off chain, right? I like the non-locality of it, right? Where people can make up their own mind. I don't have to know about it, right? There's that freedom of association of it. So let me put some of these to the top.
Oh, I like that
Generated,
one. That one's colorful.
right? I did another one. Did I do this one? This one was more the army one, which was kind of weird. It kind of looks like scary stories to tell in the dark a lot. Oh shit, that would actually be crazy. Hold on.
Yeah, I get a real just I don't know, fantasy like abstract vibe.
By the way, I loved your interaction uh, when you were talking to the lady about the energy fields.
I
That was my favorite.
can play.
That was my favorite.
I can play nice. See,
You were very good at playing nice. Damn. Yeah.
uh, I know how to say mean things without hurting anyone's feelings.
Wow. Yeah, it's a good skill to have. But yeah, when I heard that, I was like, damn.
What I was it when I said when we talk about all these energies and vibrations that
Yes,
they really
exactly.
don't resonate with me, pun intended.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Did she say that to you, Zach? Like directly to you? Like was she speaking about
No,
you?
I said that to her. I said when certain when individuals talk about energy fields and vibrations, it just doesn't really resonate with me, pun intended. And then was like, but there's space for everyone. Maybe someone comes in here and what I can teach them would sound better through your mouth, and they would pick it up quicker. So that's what everyone deserves their space. Just don't force me to put a tuning fork to my head every morning.
My perspective on that is definitely that it's really, especially living here in California, it's become kind of like an occult, like a religion. I can't go on a date with a girl without her talking about fucking stars and shit. I don't know. It's just it's funny to me, but it's also
You know
something
what?
that
Because they're not teaching you astronomy, but they're talking about stars.
that to me is what is so interesting about it. It's become so, I don't know, it's like
Don't
Christianity now.
don't worry.
It's our new version of Christianity.
Don't worry, Anthony. At the end of the month, Neptune is no longer in phase with Venus, so it'll stop being that way.
It's I just imagine Anthony going to a date with like a golf shirt on and like khakis, and then she's there with like the flowing gowns and like the tiara, right? You know, I love that.
I promise you I have a lot better style than this because I did live in Latin America for a while, but there is definitely a contrast when I sit at the table with a girl that is like this. I will say that last year when I went to Tulum, I fell in love with a Russian girl who had a white third eye tattooed in the middle of her forehead. And that was an amazing experience. Honestly, she was the only one that could actually get away with talking to me about the stars all day. And it was just because she was so drastically beautiful and so passionate about what she spoke about, and then completely also open to my interpretation, which is generally like Nietzschean. Like, I love my interpretation's always just like, oh, that's that's ethical. That's ethical relativism. That's interesting, and she would take that and make it her own. So that was a better way to kind of approach the conversation with me.
Okay, I gotta get doing my night routine and then get to bed. So I will see you all for coffee at 4:30 in the morning.
Oh God, that's my 1:30.
Aye. I love Zach.
Have a good night, bro.
Good night.
Hey, Sandra, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Relaxing. 9:07 on the West Coast.
12:07 on the east.
I'm also very curious about Alaskoshi. I like his profile picture.
Wait, who's this again?
He's in the room with us here. Have you guys ever seen that image that people draw of a man in their dreams, and many people from many different areas that have never met have drawn the same man? It looks like this man that is on Alice Goshi's profile picture down there.
Oh, okay.
It's I think that was AI generated. I think he used AI to generate that.
It's like a cross between Abraham Lincoln and Nicolas Cage. No, it looks more like Lincoln to me.
Yeah, it's kind of like Mr. Rogers' uncle.
Right.
How was your day, Sandra?
Good. I don't know. I got really tired and I ended up falling asleep. It's like I'm too old. I don't know. Crazy day.
Oh, let's go. See what's going on.
He's been in every space if you've noticed since the skill space.
Oh yeah.
I've noticed he's like the strong silent type.
Yeah, hey, how's it going? I just shared that picture.
Nice. I like it.
Inventor of what coin? What is that?
Oh, just the last one.
Huh. Neat.
Wow, the other options are great. Whoa.
Yeah, definitely. Cool.
Where are you from? Are you from Alaska? Oh, there it is.
Yep.
You are. What part of Alaska are you from?
I'm from Anchorage, down in the Kenai Peninsula right now.
Oh, cool. Fitz. I love the crickets.
Fitz, you weren't there at the interview this morning at 6 a.m.
Fitz had an interview?
Genesis.
Did I miss it? Sorry. I had to do the crickets thing to you guys just for a little bit there. I wish him luck. I don't know. I can't represent him anymore. But I will once he gets a job. How'd it go?
I don't think it went that well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did he tell you, or did you just hear?
No. We talked about it. Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
He had I kind of told him. I tried to give him a little advice on it yesterday, but he's gonna do what he's gonna do.
That is a free spirit.
Yes, I'd agree with that. What did he say? I haven't talked to him.
Yeah, I think it was one of those things where, when the wires are crossed and it's just for whatever reason hard to uncross them once they're crossed.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no blame on any side. It was just one of those things where it's like, the first 2 minutes of any interaction are, really key.
Like you got to have that chemistry or that
Yeah. And
follow that tone.
There's knowledge, skills, there's attitude, and then there's your relationship with the person who's going to be hiring you. And just because you have the knowledge, skills, and attitude doesn't mean there's going to be any interpersonal fit. That's like the known unknown.
So it's kind of like weird, not weird, but like I guess it was made kind of known, but it was also presented through spaces. So I guess it's sort of fair. I was going to almost say that maybe we shouldn't say anything, but it was kind of presented through through somebody here who knew somebody and kind of lined him. Oh, was it through Dan? I guess, right?
Keep going.
Carry on. Yeah, I think it was Dan had a position as far as I didn't really.
Mm-hmm. No,
Wasn't
Dan.
trying to, wasn't
Dan
trying to,
hired Anthony.
oh, so he was interviewing multiple people.
Wait, was
Yeah,
this something to do with me? What did I do?
yeah, because Dan was interviewing for a few positions, and Anthony was the first one who was able to climb through the first hurdle.
Well done, man. Good work,
I
Anthony.
appreciate
Congratulations.
that. But wait, why did I get into this conversation? What was happening this morning?
You got the job. Now I represent you.
How do you represent me? What does that mean?
Because I'm on retainer for you. It's coming. Don't worry. It's direct deposit. It's no big deal. It's fine.
I'm super confused. I thought somebody had an interview this morning. I didn't have an interview this morning. It wasn't me.
See, I like your style. I like his style. I'd hire this guy.
Yeah, he's very trustworthy.
I'd hire him, other guy.
Well, so I'll tell you. I
it's-
just got.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you, Sandra. You first.
I'm sorry.
No,
Fitz.
you.
I always step on your toes. I don't mean to do it. It's just totally an accident. He has too many PhDs. I think that's the problem. That the other guy. I mean, you get someone who's got so many degrees that they can't like actually function in society with anyone. I think that was the problem.
Overqualified. I just got back from a Tesla concert. I don't know if you remember this band.
Yeah, sure.
Late 80s, early 90s. Just these guys, they kind of do the same thing, just shredding like guitar solos, and the drummer's just going fucking insane. The lead singer is basically Steven Tyler, like kind of poor man's Steven Tyler. But it was awesome. They were still doing it. It was fantastic.
Really? Yeah, I like Tesla a great deal. They're awesome.
Although I will say this, I was a little disappointed because they came out with this new album, and like you could just the vibe of the crowd when they were playing their new songs compared to when they played like all their older stuff that everybody was kind of like that everybody was familiar with. It was kind of very obvious and funny to watch.
Yeah, it always makes me a little sad though. They're still trying to do their thing. It's like, yeah, all right, whatever. Go back to the late 80s.
I'm like a really kind of like this is a vacation community with people. It's not. I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't have been. It's probably not their best venue for their new album. If I can, I don't know how to put that any nicer, but
Well, that's probably true. Like Queen Strike, I like Operation Mindcrime, but and Empire, and then the old stuff like Rage to Order, but the new stuff. People, in my opinion, people are kind of like, I don't know.
it was cool though. Like I really enjoyed when they went into some of like the guys that are in front of in front of fans, really like ripping on the guitar. I mean, it was just stuff you don't see. It was, and also that Tesla was always kind of like the band that had sort of like kind of lamer lyrics in a way. Like they were like just a little sappy. So
But sappy's good.
it was sappy combined with like this shredding. Is so I love it. It was great. It was funny I liked it. It was fun to watch.
Takes a person back in time, you know.
So what's going on in here? What are you guys up to? I'm just trying to like I'm settling down listening to these crickets. What are you guys doing? Oh, congratulations, Anthony, by the way.
Nothing much. You have peepers out there where you are? There's little frogs that go peep in the woods.
I was about to say, what's a peeper?
They make these peeping sounds like they're just at random places in the woods. And
we have them. They usually come out like they're more like, we still have them, but in the spring they come out really heavy. It's a cool, they all peep until if one of the frogs hears something, they stop peeping. And so that they all know that there's like danger. So then they all stop peeping. So it's like peep, 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 and it gets louder and louder and louder. And then all of a sudden everything, like, it'll slowly stop, and then it'll stop almost instantly. It's a pretty cool animal, actually. Frog.
they are pretty cool. I grew up with them, and I don't hear them much anymore. You know, they have no environment to live in, I think. I would love to get like a whole group of them together and just like stick them at my sister's house, like in the basement, and then they would just randomly peep at all hours of the day and night, and like freak her out constantly. That would be awesome.
Yeah, like they do, like that's what they start, and then it's funny because then the startup of it is sort of slow, and then like one of them will start to peep, and then the ones that are immediately around them start to peep, and then it just sort of exponentially grows to the point where then it's all just booming until they hear a sound, or one of them hears a sound, and then they stop, exponentially stop, I guess.
Right, they're awesome.
Yeah, just keep it there.
So does that ever like drive you crazy? I mean,
I don't know.
I grew up with crickets, you know, and so it doesn't bother me, but I can imagine people who haven't just getting progressively angrier every night.
It's pleasant.
Yeah, it is pleasant.
I'll let it roll.
It'd be good for the Syndicate to get like a bonfire going, wherever Fitz is at. Sounds like a nice place.
Right, that's a good idea. Crackle of the fire.
I am just looking through the Solana hack.
Oh,
What's the stitch? Did they figure it out, or what's going on, or is it getting worse? It would be funny if it
Well,
just was like a progressively worse crisis, like it just completely destroys Solana. That would be really interesting.
well, the damage users are having their wallets emptied. Like literally, like imagine they're having their wallets emptied, and they're calling it. I'm still reading, but they're calling it like a private key hack, and that doesn't sound good.
wow.
Um, over 8,000 Solana wallets have fallen victim. Where is it? Why doesn't it show? Oh yeah, over 8,000 Solana wallets have fallen victim to the ongoing hack, with more increasing by the minute. According to reports, multiple Solana addresses have succumbed to a widespread attack as private keys to several wallets have been compromised.
Wow, that's awful.
The attacker has orchestrated a mass private key exploit and stole both native tokens and SPL tokens from hot wallets. He also mentioned that revoking approvals for these transfers might not help in safekeeping, as the only viable option is to move funds to an offline cold hardware wallet.
Oh wow.
Jeez.
Wow.
This was like the one that everyone was saying was easy to operate with, and now, oof.
It was more scalable, but at the what is it called? At the
Expensive.
sacrifice of decentralization, wasn't it?
They are not having a good year.
You'll be glad to know that the Hex users are unaffected.
When I say easy to use, I think I meant like with NFT stuff. Like, wasn't Solana
Yeah.
like? Yeah.
Yes, it was. It was very NFT friendly.
Yep, the gas fees and stuff. That's what made them more accessible.
I created a commercial for Solana, actually. A few, I guess it's months ago now. Let me see if I can find it.
Just got to match on Bumble.
Ooh. Does she look like she knows all of the constellations by sight only?
That's interesting because that was the one that was kind of targeting people who didn't really know the network, right? I mean, how convenient is that?
Targeting people who don't know the network is really dark. So I just put the Solana commercials at the top.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's just a joke about Solana, basically, when they were announcing the phone.
Brilliant.
So, how many phones by Solana do you have?
They haven't shipped yet.
I wonder if they...
Still accepting deposits though.
Yeah. It's no, I only knew about Solana because when we first started doing spaces, we started just hashtagging the space different things. And we noticed that if you could hashtag it Solana, you have a bunch of Solana people come in, and then we would just talk to them about their project. And we learned all about it. Well, it's interesting. Have you guys ever looked at Japanese Web3?
No.
Japanese Web3 is one of the best sources of information. If you just have to translate from Japanese to English, but their articles are amazing.
I'm just gonna try to learn Japanese from this one.
That's tough. And
there's a smiley face in there.
it said that they focused on wallets that were over 6 months old. So imagine all you're trying to do is hold Solana, and you know.
So you guys kind of would like just for like shits and giggles or whatever, you'd like put Solana in there, and then you I think you did like Hex or
Hex. Yeah.
Which one gave you the biggest? Like, which crew came in the heaviest?
Safe Moon Safe Moon 24/7 365.
Safe Moon.
Yeah, that was Casey's idea.
and just full on took over basically, or
It was just amazing how many people came in all at once. Like the velocity of people, it was crazy.
I wonder how that happened. Like what they did, like how they are in a group that's just like, oh hey, somebody else just start. Let's everybody go right now. Like what do they do, or where do they hang out?
Let's see if we can.
Oh, I'm not saying to do it, but you
No,
do
we're
it.
gonna
You
have
do
some
what you
fun.
want.
We're gonna have some fun. Well, because all I'm gonna do is looking through.
Oh shit.
the
You're okay.
Solana code.
Interesting.
Let's translate this tweet. No. Wow.
The characters are cool though, but I can translate it too.
You're like, you know what? I don't really like the information, but I kind of like looking at the characters. That'd be really funny.
Yes.
Do you speak Japanese? No, but I really enjoy the characters. What? It's a great show.
Yeah.
That's
Sandra,
it.
can you stop stepping on my toes, Sandra, please?
So sorry.
I'm just fucking with you. Go ahead.
No, I think they have the coolest game shows over there. Like, remember Max X back from like 10 years ago?
I remember the Chris Farley skit where he goes to a Japanese game show and he doesn't speak Japanese, but he keeps getting the answer right. I'll post it at the top. It's with Mike Myers. Oh man, the Japanese game show. He's like, Kwaki Serpiniku? Yes, that's correct. Kwaki Serpiniku. And he's like, what? Japanese game show. Chris Farley.
Was he facing like horrible consequences too?
Oh man. As soon as you see the image at the top, yeah, you'll love it.
Oh, geez. I see these, and it's like I feel so old. I shouldn't say.
Oh yeah, I'm like almost 40. I'm 39, so I'm getting up there.
Well, I turned 50 in like 13 days. Ooh.
Wow, congratulations.
No, there's nothing congratulatory about that. I'm gonna cry and hide under my bed and pretend it's like not happening.
No, that's what you should do if you own Solana. It could be worse. You could be a 50-year-old with a Solana bag, That'd be even worse.
Holy crap, there's poor people.
Can you imagine? Like, it's this is why I got out of finance in like 2011. I was like, all right, I get it. I see it for what it is. I am out. I'm gonna give up all my licenses. Don't be asking me for anything anymore.
Was that in the States? Was that here? Or?
No, in Canada.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it's the same thing, right? It was just like, I don't trust any of these institutions to stay solvent long enough to fulfill the promise of being a place to store your money, right?
I don't think any of them have been solvent since 2008.
Right. And so when I saw, like, I got into the financial advising in 2007-ish, 2006-ish, just so I could help people get out of that situation where they were losing money. And then when I looked more at the industry and I saw how it operated, I was like, oh, I can't be here anymore.
It is kind of frightening when it kind of hits you like.
Oh, yeah, it hit me. And for 6 months, I was like, the thing is, I was unable to sell, right? Because I understood, like, there was just something about it that I just couldn't, like, I would sabotage the sales I was making, right? And I was just there to kind of tell them about the eyes wide shut part of this whole thing. And then I started just teaching the course, like helping people get licensed. But again, it was just one of those things where once you saw the beast for what it was like I couldn't look away. And I didn't know an ethical way to be a part of the machine, so I had to get out.
There is no ethical way. You know, it's
Yeah, it's difficult unless like right now I'm working on my own, right? Like I do work with other people, but I'm on my own, and so it's like that's the only way I figured out to make it happen.
right.
Yeah,
That
because go ahead.
the licensing for practicing law in the states is like they're like vultures picking at your carcass constantly. It makes me nuts.
Please do not DDoS RPC servers. It only makes it harder for Solana and devs to diagnose the issue. Well, that's a good thing to let people know.
Oh, that's healthy. They haven't even.
Is that
Um,
Solana?
hold on. Yeah, so this is interesting. Many RPC servers have gone offline due to white hat hackers purposefully DDoSing them to slow down the hacker. Whoa, that's interesting. Whoa, I never heard of that before. So there's an active hack, and so people in the network are trying to slow down the network while they solve the hack. Very creative.
What a disaster. I mean, unreal.
Well, I mean, this is from Solana status. Engineers from multiple ecosystems, with the help of several security firms, are investigating drained wallets on Solana. There is no evidence hardware wallets are impacted. Oh, thanks. That make me feel better. So at least the hardware wallets are safe.
What if it was just Ledger, like through behind all of these attacks? This is just a very intricate marketing ploy.
I mean, it would prove out their thesis, right? Haven't been hacked yet, 600 days without a hack. 30 days without a hack. 1 day without a hack. Here's what you should know regarding the Great Drain, they're calling it. So they have a name for this now, the Great Drain. Okay. 7,000 wallets impacted, $7 million. List of affected wallets below. Most reports are coming in from Phantom and Slope. So Slope is a Web3 navigator, and Phantom, I believe, is a Solana wallet. Only a token-specific delegation or an auto-approve or a leaked seed could transfer assets from a wallet on behalf of the user. Since the system transfers are happening, that rules out delegation. It may be a supply chain issue, meaning existing software dependency in browser extensions may have been exploited. Oh no.
Yeah, that is no good.
Is it Luna level? Is the question.
I guess it depends on which wallets they attack, right? If you attack the right wallet, it's a Luna overnight. In a micro moment. You know what I mean? Like when you look at the way that whale wallets control the market, it's not it's not how much you rug, it's not when you rug, but who. 5,000 wallets, ongoing hap. It compromises user keys. Wow. Because the transactions are signed properly, it's likely that the attacker has acquired access to private keys. One possible route is a supply chain hack where a JavaScript library is hacked and it steals users' private keys. IOTA was compromised by such an attack and never quite recovered. Zero day, where does that leave us? Oh, I know who we need to ask about this. Where NFTs are worthless when you need them. I know he's an insomniac.
I watched the entire video. It's fucking hysterical. I love that man's physical comedy, by the way.
Oh, you watched
So
the
good.
thing?
So
Yeah,
funny.
it's so
Oh
good.
man, it's so good.
Yeah, top tier.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So Ermin is the head of Avalanche. I'll put to the top. Want to read it? 0 day. I wonder if there's a nonce reuse bug. Oh. Well, I mean, look, people are building planes in the air, and when you build a plane in the air, sometimes you realize, oh shit, I should have added more fuel.
Yeah. Well, this says Phantom or Magic Eden.
Wait.
It sucks when Magic Eden gets taken down. Like, where do we go for Paradise now that Magic Eden is taken down?
Right.
Not to, but you just brought up an interesting. Did you watch any of the Pelosi stuff earlier today? Did you check?
No. What's that? What's the latest?
She landed in Taiwan.
Oh, okay. I never know if we're talking about her husband's trading activity or something else. Okay, so good for her. She landed.
Yeah, but like it became. You said planes, and I thought of it, but they obviously they had like security jets with her, and then there were other planes in the air that were scrambled, and then I think China signaled some kind of like it was like pretty tense, like legit, like really tense for a
So
few months.
the saber rattling is getting ever louder.
Yes, but sorry, carry on. I just
No. That's it is. I mean, like, it's interesting because Taiwan is such a center of semiconductors more than, you know what I mean? Like, forget about like, our influence over that side of the world. It's just like, all right, so it's interesting that Pelosi would go there because she just put through the semiconductor bill. Maybe she's going to talk to them about semiconductors and not national security.
I think you could be correct, and nobody's been because it was always like don't go, and nobody's been since like the Clinton administration. I mean, literally just hasn't,
Right?
and even then it was the same scenario. It's like don't come here. So
Yeah, it makes sense.
there's an agenda for sure. I think you could be right, honestly.
I mean, imagine the sequence of events. So, who creates more semiconductors than Taiwan? Shenzhen, and maybe only Shenzhen, right? So, think about of a crazy, if you could corner that resource of semiconductor manufacturing, right, you would have a distinct competitive advantage.
Look, if you actually looked at after the price of semiconductors in the market went through the goddamn roof after
Oh wow!
it happened. Yes, today the prices
Wow.
spiked. Yeah. So hey, you're smart. You're a clever dude, man. We already knew that, but
Well, I'm following Jim Keller because Jim Keller.
no, I don't follow him.
Okay, so Jim Keller is the guy who built chips for everyone: Apple, AMD, Intel, Tesla, and he has his own chip startup. So I've been, Yeah, look up JIMKELLER. You'll see some of the best. Like, if you want to fall asleep to just like somebody talk about chips and AI all day long, like Jim Keller's a guy to listen to because he built everyone's chips. Like this, like Ryzen and all that stuff coming out of AMD. That's all him. It's like one guy who's been fighting Moore's law as a mercenary for the past 30 years. Wow, one singular wallet has been drained of over 500,000 USDC. Jeez, dude. Holy. Imagine waking up and due to no fault of your own, 500,000 is gone. You didn't do anything wrong. Nothing you did wrong. 500,000.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Oh no. What is this? Dude, this is scary, guy. Because, well, it's not so much scary as it just shows you the pace of information. So it's like recovering secret keys from reused nonces. Nonces are the little unique identifiers they add to the top of like transaction blocks to keep them identifiable. Now that we understand what this, let's demonstrate its fragility. Since it's a digital signature scheme, it's imperative that the secret key is never revealed to anyone other than the message signer. However, if a signer ever releases a signature and also releases the nonce they used, an attacker can immediately recover the secret key. Huh.
Whoa. Yeah, that's gonna cause a bad day.
Dude, imagine 500,000 gone and you didn't do anything wrong. You did nothing wrong. Wow. They're going directly after elliptic curve digital signature algorithms. That covers a lot of products. This post will walk you through the various ways in which this bias can be exploited, how simple it is to attack in practice, and how to protect yourself. This is June 11th, 2020. Jeez.
So they knew this for a long time?
Yep.
Oh my
Sat
god.
on it as a 0 day.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Wrecked.
100% wrecked. That's fucking that's terrible.
Laugh, but it's just, the enormity. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, because we don't know the attack surface, right? And
Right.
if it just is wild to me to see like the countermeasures. It's like, okay, so somebody's trying to steal the money. What do? Slow down the network. How do we slow it down? We attack it with information. Okay, let's attack our own network to slow it down. It's you can't make it up.
So this
It's
is that's
effective. Go ahead, go.
no. I was just gonna ask is that's a flaw in the creation, or I mean that could be.
Yep.
Could that be turned on the creators and say like, look, you guys are responsible for this? And obviously, they could
I
just.
mean, nobody's responsible in decentralization land, right?
Yeah, I know. Correct. That's the scary part.
I saw that the Celsius guy was trying to leave the U.S. and they stopped him from leaving. Dude, it's getting serious.
So this says 580 million was stolen by 4 addresses.
580?
Right,
Okay.
5 million.
Wow, which one? Maybe I overlooked that.
It just came in 30 seconds ago. I think it looks like Chinese writing. So, yeah. It says 8,000 Solana wallets were stolen, and about 580 million went to the following 4 addresses, and then it has the addresses there. Mist Track is the user on Twitter.
Let me take a look. Missed track.
MISTTRAC.
Alright, .io.
Right.
Oh, okay, let's take a look. That's fine. So they have a Discord. So they know the address of the drainer's wallet. Hold on. You're telling me they stole $500 million?
That's what they're saying, right?
I thought you were reading it wrong.
Nope. A mere 580 million, just, not.
Well, hold on. What's the total market cap of Solana?
I don't know.
Hold on. What's the total market cap of Solana?
Imagine stealing $500 million in 3 hours.
Well, they were sitting on that ability to steal that. Imagine the patience needed to not steal before, right? To just sit on the 0 day.
$500 million is a motivation and a half, bro. Like that's
man. But what do you mean $500 million?
Well, they could be wrong, but I mean, that's what this one group that missed, that group I just told you about said. Of course, now I went away from the page and I can't find the tweet.
Yeah, I put at the top.
Oh, yeah, there it is. All right.
What? Is that that has to be the large, right?
I think so.
It's hard for me to even believe what I'm seeing. Like, I'm wondering, like, did they just, like, put a decimal place in the wrong place?
Solana's only down 4%, so I can feel better knowing that.
No.
I don't understand how they have those stolen by they have the addresses that stole them.
Because they can see where the money is being transferred from and to. And it's all pooling in the same wallet.
What do you do with that?
So they had this happen before, and they voted to freeze the wallet. If you look up Solana wallet freeze, you'll see somebody that they put in like, I think $100 million, and then they took out a loan for like $500 million because they used it as collateral. Hey, I'm gonna buy 100 million Solana, and by the way, I now own 600 million. They're like, what? Yeah. We're just using your lending platform. That's how it works, right?
Oh, absolutely.
This is dark.
Brilliant. It's like the Wall Street bet stuff when the guys like they just go onto margin and and then they just close their accounts when it doesn't work. But there's a couple people who did some clever things. If you've ever followed any of that, like found like loopholes. Yeah. Hang on one second.
That's so dark, dude. Wow. I still can't believe it. What do you mean $500 million? I still feel like that must be a mistake. I saw 5 million.
Right, that was like 3 hours. That was, according to this, it was like,
Yeah, that's like old news, dude. That's like 3 hours ago. What are you talking about? You know how fast this market moves?
well, see how fast. I mean, if it went from like 5 million to 580, within 3 hours, like holy crap, I might have, instead of being a lawyer, I have to like evaluate my billable hours and.
Well, it's like it hurts because like the promoted tweet is like they have 12,000 participants building in their summer camp hackathon. And I'm thinking, well, maybe one of those people in the hackathon learned everything about Solana and figured out a better way to make money.
Wonder if they're hacking from the hackathon.
Right?
Such a dark thing to think about. It's like, how can I come up with some jokes to pass the time about this awful hack?
Yeah, it's like Solana. It's developed by Shang Tsung, Soul. And it's tough because they have an automated response that quote tweets all of the messages from Solana. So the whole page is, dear user, we're sorry about your inconvenience. Damn. This is carnage. How can anyone trust fucking anything anymore? If just like arbitrarily a 0 day can just be like, and it's gone.
Man. People are speculating that it has to do with a gambling service.
It has to do with a gambling service.
Yeah, I'm looking at an article from, now the source is beincrypto.com has put together an article about it. And yeah, send to cold wallet and revoke access.
That was one of the workarounds. Yep. Lord. So Slope had 76,000 followers. Oh, let me go into the Telegram. All right. Sir, what about my money? It looks like slope is the common denominator. Slope find. Oh. Solana wallet drain survey. To all of those affected by Solana, we're working it out. Please add your wallet here. My God, I'm broke right now. I will never receive my money. I lost my money. What happens? Give me my money. My tokens were transferred to this wallet.
Yeah, this is gonna be a mess. It already is a mess, but this will be bad. This will get worse.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people in this Slope wallet chat that were affected. I wonder if Phantom has a Telegram. Let's see, Phantom. Who knows? The Phantom knows. Or is that the Shadow? Anyways. 4 hours ago. What is Solana worth right now? It's worth $40.
It's worth less than it's worth right now.
Real and nominal value. $38. So 61 times 38. It's $1,800.
People are gonna pile out. That people are already leaving, I would assume, right?
Thanks for letting my savings go. That's $600 USD gone. I lost all my USDC. That's 134 gone. Oh no, sorry, that's Solana. Oh, that's USDC. Solana lost. Balance is gone. Man, actually, the fucked up thing is the exploit is not limited to Solana because the wallets like Phantom appeared to be built using Solana because other assets were held there. Those assets were also stolen.
Crap.
I didn't connect anything to my main wallet and got drained. What the fuck? Damn, my bag got drained.
Oh my
So
God.
you're telling me storing my entire net worth on a Google Chrome extension would not be considered a bad move? Okay, you're an asshole. You're not wrong. But that's another stolen. Wow, 8,000 USDC gone.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've hit my self-proclaimed bedtime.
Dude,
I've been
yeah,
staying up too late on Spaces, so I'm
I
cutting
know, right?
myself off. I'm doing my best,
Good.
but you guys are great, and I'll catch you tomorrow.
No,
Good night.
talk soon.
Right.
8,700,
Have a good night, Fritz.
$20,000. Take it easy. Wow.
Wow.
Will we get our money back? My wallet's drained. What will you do for this? Oh, that sucks. So imagine looking at your account. I just put it at the top. And you just wake up to a bunch of sent things that you didn't do,
Oh no. Wow.
right? You could just see the transactions.
That is just not cool.
Is that Orca DAO?
Orca, yeah. So somebody was holding one of their tokens or a collection of their tokens. So those tokens were compromised too. I think 7,000 gone.
Yeah. I'm
Oh, I
glad
guess.
for wallet. I'll put it to you that way. I moved to hard.
Say again.
I said I moved my Bitcoin to hardware, and hopefully
Mm-hmm.
it stays there.
That's on the answer. Wow, it's all gone already. I'm just getting out of crypto because I can't afford investing anymore and not even being sure it's all safe. Already gone. Taking USDT out. No. Oh no. Check out the hack that they did. It says this showed up in my wallet yesterday after purchasing something from Magic Eden. Damn.
Wow.
Damn, they just pressed send and it was game over.
Holy crap. That is just not right.
How do they fall for that though? The first thing I would think is no.
They got fished. Very not nice.
I guess we have to check in with the one and only investments talk. You guys follow investments talk?
No, no, I don't think so.
No? I think you would love investment talk.
Are they on Twitter?
Yeah. Let me just, my friends. So let me just. Okay, let me put it to the top. Yeah, so investments talks about two things: carnage and crypto.
Oh, my two favorite things.
So if you just click on his profile and click on media, you'll see all of the news that's not being reported anywhere. Like, I think he's like the one channel that has all of the news not being reported anywhere, just in the form of videos.
But he's got nothing on Solana.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to ask him. I just pinged him.
Yeah, and there is nothing these people can do.
Yeah, literally, there's almost nothing apart from moving to a hard wallet. And what if you don't have the money to buy a $200 hard wallet? What do? You just wait, or you go to another exchange.
Wait and pray.
How do you hack Bitcoin? How do you is it just quantum, is it just like a quantum hack?
Well, if you're deep conspiracy theorists, you'll argue that it's already been hacked.
Meaning someone has all the private keys because they created it?
Worse. The idea was that they changed the original Bitcoin protocol a long time ago. And people think that they're using Bitcoin that's related to the white paper, but it's not. So what I'll do is I'll put to the top, it's called the original Bitcoin protocol. What is it and why does it matter? And it talks about all of the stuff that was deleted from the original protocol.
So essentially there's a rug that's coming to Bitcoin, just like an existential rug that's just going to destroy it all.
It's nobody can know, right? I would argue that Bitcoin has a great chance of succeeding, right? You know what I mean? Because it's just been around so long, right? But the deep conspiracy theorists are like, well, if we look at all of the code that was deleted from the original implementation, and people start asking themselves why, right? And yeah, the easiest way to steal Bitcoin is not technological hacking, but social engineering, right? There was a hack where they were sending people compromised ledger wallets and telling them, hey, your ledger wallet is compromised, use this one instead.
Wow.
Wow, yeah, that's...
Can you imagine? You just get a new ledger wallet in the mail. Hey, by the way, there's been a new update, complimentary ledger wallet. You're like, oh, man, thanks, Ledger.
Well, I'd heard that on Amazon there were sellers selling hardware wallets that were fake.
Yep. They were handing out compromised hard wallets at Bitcoin conferences.
Oh God.
Yeah, can you imagine? Have 5 free hard wallets. Oh, thanks.
That is awful. That's just, I can't even imagine. Like, yeah, man, I'm at this conference. This is so cool. And
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like you'd rather have the Mickey. At least you can recover the day after.
yeah.
Jeez.
Wow.
What do you mean private keys are compromised? Because if you have the nonce of the transaction, you can get the secret key. What? And that was known from 2020.
Yeah, how on earth does something hang around that long and not get used by someone? Someone was really patient and willing to gamble that someone else would figure that out first.
Well, there was something I saw from like 2018, I think, or 2019 about the possible exploit that you could use on Luna and how you could depeg it. And the known like it wasn't a known unknown. It was like a known known. Like this can happen. And then you ask yourself, well, why didn't they do it earlier? And the answer might be because there wasn't enough value to steal yet.
Right.
Right? Like if you have access to my bank account, you would probably want to make sure I get paid first, right?
Right. Otherwise, what? Well, I guess it depends on your money from your bank account, but right. Yeah, sure.
Right? Like if you have patience. And so what if you found that, you know, a good $10,000 to $15,000 is going in that bank account every month? You might wait. You might wait years.
Exactly. Whew.
You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking of, I met a founder of a decentralized work protocol who's building on Solana probably about 2 weeks ago, and I haven't seen him tweet anything about this, but it's going to be interesting to see what the builders say.
Mark will say nothing. Lawyer up, you know.
Yeah, his last tweets are pumping Solana like it's where all the demand is, and now nothing, crickets. It's funny because when I met him, he was kind of very self-centered, but yeah, it is what it is. Web3 founders.
So, blockchain auditor OtterSec. I love that. The auditor is called Otter.
Oh yeah.
Over 5,000 Solana wallet assets have been stolen the past few hours, and these transactions were signed by the actual owners, indicating that there was some sort of private key compromise. There is also evidence that this problem may also affect users of F, although not widespread.
Really?
Well, all right, guys, I'm going to turn in. This is great. We did an overtime of the skill space, and we learned what happens that even if you are skilled in DeFi, you can still get rugged.
That's what happens. All right, guys. Good night.
All love, guys.
Everyone.